Hello, once again, YouTubes. Welcome to Game 2. We're going to jump straight into the action. In Game 1, we saw a plethora of interesting decisions and mind-blowing League of Legends. A lot of the criticism was thrown more towards SKT and how they set up for a lot of their objectives in the mid-game, especially around Drake. So coming into this game, we're going to be tracking how both these teams utilize early pressure. Do they actually have lanes that they can look to play around, and do they do it? In the mid-game, how do they set up objectives? And also, why are these teams so obsessed with Drake, and does that trend continue, or was it a one-off? So these are all the things we're going to be looking at. Let's look at the draft. Damwon, Game 2 versus SKT. Unfortunately, the results have already been spoiled. I'm sorry if you haven't watched the game yet. I haven't watched it, but we already know that Damwon win this game. So let's have a look at the draft. Damwon, once again, ban away the Ezreal. This surprised me when they did it last game, but clearly it is a respect ban towards the bot lane of SKT. I suppose Teddy is known for his Ezreal, so it's not too surprising. I just don't think it's warrant a ban. Aatrox and Azir going to be taken off the board. Makes sense. Yuumi, Vladimir, Corki, SKT actually keeping the same 3 bans. This gives Damwon the priority on the Akali. They don't care about the Karma. And the burping starts again. Of course it does. Pardon me. I apologize. SKT grabbed themselves the Kai'Sa and the Sejuani. I like the Kai'Sa blind pick a lot more. I think that it is very safe. I don't think the Varus pick was necessarily bad, but you have a lot more options when pairing Kai'Sa up with supports. Kai'Sa and Sejuani, they take the Sejuani away from Damwon. This is good. Damwon then respond with a Sylas. And this is quite interesting because it gives them a lot of flexibility. You would imagine that the Sylas is going to go into the jungle, and it is because it is an answer to the Sejuani, because you can steal away the Sejuani ultimate, and it's considered a pretty good pick. In terms of early game skirmishing, I think that you can have an advantage as the Sylas, but you've got to be careful because you don't have a huge amount of damage, and because of the 4-hit passive thing from Sejuani, it actually gives you a lot of 1v1 potential. So relatively close depending on how the matchup actually goes up. And then Damwon also grabs Xayah again. So I'm surprised that SKT don't put a lot of value on Xayah. This is very interesting to me, something that we can also track going into playoffs and worlds, because 2 drafts in a row now, Xayah and Rakan have both been left open, and SKT have not chosen to prioritize it when they had an opportunity to do so. SKT then round out their draft with a Volibear. Now, the reason why I find this interesting is because Volibear is a champion that is very lane dominant, and in certain matchups works exceptionally well. I personally love Kalista and Volibear. I think that it is a great duo. Compensates for a lot of the weaknesses that Volibear has in the mid to late game because of the ultimate that Kalista has, and because of how lane dominant Volibear is, it also synergizes very well with things like Lucian and Kalista. However, with a Kai'Sa, that's not really the same level of lane dominance that you can look to have, but also it's against a Xayah, who's very strong in these early skirmishes, has a lot of self-peel, and when she gets level 6, that Volibear is never going to get on top of her. So I'm very surprised that SKT would look to lock that in, because I feel that as a blind pick, it's pretty dangerous. The only reason why I could think they'd want to do it is to try and guarantee a strong 2 versus 2, and they ban out some of the answers. So both Alistar and Rakan are instantly taken off the board, but you could consider here a Nautilus. You could also consider here a Braum once again. And I feel like that both would act as very strong disengage tools against the likes of Volibear. I would make his laning that much weaker. Damwon keep with the Nico ban, so they're very afraid of dealing with this, and they actually ban away the Kennen as well, so they don't want to have to deal with that from SKT once again. But notice how SKT get the counter pick this time, whereas last game Kennen was a blind pick from SKT, so Damwon could get the Jace into it, giving them actually a winning matchup in the lane phase. But now with that taken off the board, SKT will have to find another counter pick. So SKT go for the Karma once again. Now, again, this surprises me a little bit because you can flex it depending on what Damwon choose to draft, but it looks like that they actually put it into the mid lane. So the thing is, again, you're looking to play around the Kai'Sa, and I think by rounding out the Volibear, rounding up with the Renekton, overall, I prefer this a lot more because it better enables team fighting. The Karma can act as a means to allow both the Volibear and Renekton to actually dive in with the bonus speed boost. You also have the Sejuani as a primary engage. So SKT have drafted themselves a much better team fight comp, but it's very reliant on Kai'Sa not falling behind in the laning phase. part of the way in which SKT have done this is by going for the volley bear, which gives them an easy avenue to play and attack through this lane and try and get advantages in the 2 versus 2. So you can kind of understand the theory. And initially I was kind of like, ooh, I'm not sure about the karma, but the more I think about it, I think it makes a little bit more sense in this matchup. And again, you get to play into the Akali, a matchup that is pretty neutral. The Akali has very little kill threat, and it makes it hard for Damwon to actually play around that lane. Damwon round things out with a Camille and Leona. I'm surprised that they would blind pick Camille. I feel like that it's not the safest blind. I mean, obviously it gets counterpicked with Renekton. In Europe, we would consider something like a Kled would be pretty safe. Obviously, with both Kennen and Nico banned, then 2 of the safest options are obviously taken off the board. But even Jace, I think, is pretty safe and can work in this comp. And then, of course, like, the other thing is they need a front line. So, again, like, Kled would act as that. Aatrox was banned, so they couldn't go for that one. They wouldn't want to blind pick Renekton. I guess also Camille is something that the LCK does like to play up in the top side of the map. So I guess maybe it's like a regional thing, but I think there's a lot of risk associated with it. It does outscale Renekton in a side lane, and Damwon have now drafted themselves a pretty solid 1-3-1. They have a really strong skirmish comp, and then by going for the Leona, they actually have a lot of all-in power in the bot lane. So I wouldn't be surprised if both junglers look to path and play around bot. There's not a huge amount that Damwon can do with relating to the top 1v1. They have to be careful of a potential dive, but I think it would be a waste of resources for SKT to invest in trying to get the Renekton ahead. If it costs them Kai'Sa falling behind in the early laning phase. So, things we want to track in this game. How much investment do both junglers put towards the bot side of the map? Which bot duo ends up getting ahead? And can the Camille mitigate the pressure that Renekton looks to exert over her in the 1 versus 1? I think in terms of scaling, SKT and a 5v5 should have an advantage, but I am worried about this 2 versus 2 with Xayah Leona against Kai'Sa Volibear. I think it's really strong for the Xayah Leona, especially when the Kai'Sa can't self-peel. At level 3, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Kai'Sa die. Yeah, okay. So, I don't think anyone has any questions on the draft. Nuguri has always won Camille versus Renekton, even by taking Klepto. Oh, okay, so it's definitely a comfort pick for him then. That makes sense. Okay. Alright, so we're now gonna jump into what are the colors of each draft? I'm not sure. Second most picked champion is Camille. Okay, yeah, okay, then it's definitely a comfort pick. That's why he's done it. Just for the context for those watching at home, maybe you're not familiar with the LCK. I'm not super familiar, but Camille is a comfort pick for Nuguri up in the top lane. I think Renekton is a fine matchup into the Camille. I think this is pretty strong. Anyway, let's jump into the game. Let's see how things play out. What speed are we at? 1.5 for now. So this game should have a lot more early game action. There is a lot of room to make plays and do stuff. So that's what we're looking for. Oh, wait. I got some art. Holy moly, this is so cool. Oh man, this is super cool. Oh, this is super cool. Here, look, I'll link it to you guys in the... Look at this. Look at this. Do you play Magic? No, I don't. But I watch the guys in the office use that. And Alice uses that a lot to qualify drafts and judge them. Interesting. Check out that art. It's so cool. Oh man, I'm so happy with it. I love Atan. He's so good at these. It's Papa Smithy, because I'm reviewing LCK. so cool. Anyway, I forgot we're recording. I'm sorry. Those on the YouTubes, you'll be able to check out the art on the thumbnail. So anyway, let's get into the game. We're expecting more of the game action. Interesting ward coming out from SKT to spot out the early path from Canyon. He's going to say, I don't care. He does have sweeper, but, you know, they're going to know. So Sejuani starting top side. I wonder if they go for a full clear up towards top. Canyon going to start on his red buff. And, oh, okay. Well, it's a little surprising because Silas will often start on his Raptors. Because he has the ability to clear them out early, and then by killing them early, it means that they respawn earlier in the game. So let's have a look at what happens in terms of early pathing. Silas will often do a full clear bot into then base. Sejuani can do the same, but both junglers may just look for full clears. We'll see what they decide to do. We got a lot of runes in the bottom of our screen. Okay. Anything too crazy coming out? Doesn't look like it. Chat is asking me. The art is still on. Wait, why is the what? Why is the art on screen? That's weird. What the hell? Have I somehow? What? Why is this happening? I'm really confused. Why is this now a thing? Why is this on my stream? What the hell? Okay. Wait, I figured it out. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry. Alright, now people on the YouTubes get to see the art. You're welcome. Sorry about that. My bad. Alright, thank you stream. Thank you chat. Alright, we're back in the VOD review. Let's go. No more distractions. Only League of Legends. So, Silas is going to be doing a full clear. And Sejuani is going to be doing the same. That means that Sejuani is going to end up on the bot side of the map. Oh, we see the classic Renekton versus Camille matchup. Oh god, my elbow really hurts now. Canyon is top side. Wait, Khan? Oh, he might be able to... Whoa. You lose this, can't... Oh, no. No, you don't. You do not lose this. Okay. So, I wasn't expecting this. I didn't think Canyon would path towards the top side of the map. I mean, it makes sense why he does, because he's on blue side. He wants to do a full clear on his bot side of the map. He knows that Sejuani is starting enemy top side red, which means that he's going to trade Scuttle Crab, and you can see that he gets level 4 off the back of this. Khan just face checks, and then he dies 1v1. And I thought the Khan would win this, but he ran out of abilities, and Canyon had his W, so that gave him the execute damage. Huh. Well, there we go. Silas, level 4 with a double buff, beats Renekton level 4 without a double buff. I shouldn't be that surprised, I suppose. But, like, this is really bad for Khan, because he's either forced to TP really early, or he's just going to lose a huge amount of experience. But the fact that Canyon got that really early kill as well is really good for him. Now he gets the path back bot. Sejuani didn't try and make a play. He doesn't have sweeper, though, so we can't actually go through the brush. Let's see if they go for the all-in. They're waiting for level 4. Come on, Damwon, go for it. Never mind. I thought they'd go for the all-in there. I'm surprised they lose out on push, to be honest. I would have thought that Xayah and Leona would have a little bit more priority in this lane. Well, in any case, someone in chat did mention that Nugarid often runs Kleptomancy in this top lane matchup. You can see him doing the same thing here. Now, Cleared taking a bit of a creative jungle pathing to get him from behind. Looking for the collapse. Ooh, excellent interrupt. Oh, and they don't actually get the kill. Could they have done something differently? Oh, okay. So they... Unfortunately, they both use their CC at the same time. Because he flashes stuns to try and interrupt the E, but at the same time, Clid does the knocker. So the CC isn't chained. If they had, they probably would have gotten the kill. And then the slow is applied onto Kanye. He doesn't have any gap closes left. So he uses his flash. Now, this is still good. Yeah, but he can stay because Canyon is topside. So remember in draft how we talked about how we thought that both junglers could actually play around bot? We saw Canyon get a lucky gank top, which wasn't really part of his plan. He was just covering in the event of a potential early dive. But also, he was pathing towards top skull anyway. But he did look for a gank bot. Level 4, he was there. He just got spotted out by a ward. Clid then actually, after his reset, chooses to gank top side of the map, which makes sense because, again, his camps are respawning top. So they then look for a gank as the wave is being pushed underneath Khan's tower. So the fact that he's playing around top to try and get the Renekton ahead is good. But we wanted to see him invest towards the bot side of the map. Now, that's not to say that he can't, for the rest of the game, now look for gank bot. But putting Nuguri behind is still really important in terms of the Renekton matchup. And now Canyon has to be here because there is a real possibility of a dive, especially with no flash available on Nuguri. But Nuguri is actually like getting so much out of the situation. The fact that he was able to survive that was a really big deal. So, slight blip on the execution there from Clid. But I think the decision making all makes sense. He needs to be really careful here. Yeah, but again, you look mid lane. Beryl also getting an early roam off. Okay, sucks for Nuclear. So they're a little bit behind in this 2 versus 2. But they also respect the fact that they didn't have jungler bot side early levels. So they're just respecting that as well. Showmaker gets some vision on Clid. They know that blue buff is spawning soon. Are we ever gonna see a gank bot lane? Ooh. So remember we already talked about the blue buff? See how because Nuclear and Beryl have push and bot and Showmaker gets to move, they get the blue? Good utilization of early pressure from Damwon. Please gank bot lane. Someone. Anyone. Will anyone please gank bot lane? No? Just a single gank bot. That'd be great. You don't have to give me many. I only need one. Nope. Silas is going to path back top. Oh, no. No, no, no. No, 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 no. You can't do this. I'm pretty sure you can't do this. No, SKT. This is bad. This is real bad. Don't do this. Don't do it. Remember when I said, maybe don't do this, SKT? Alright, so, first thing we have confirmed is that SKT has a weird obsession with Dragon. Now, admittedly, it is the Infernal Drake. And, okay, so, okay. I figured it out. Look at this ping. Look at it. Look at it. Wait. Okay. Damn it. So, Showmaker wants the base to reset. The reason why I thought I'd figured it out is because the blue buff has respawned. So, SKT think that Damwon is on blue right now. But if we backtrack and we follow where Silas goes, notice how when he resets on the map, way earlier than this, way earlier, because notice again, look here. So he clears his red buff, right? The first thing that should respawn is his Krugs. Okay, we're going to go double speed here, right? But he doesn't. Why? Because they want to invade the... Wait, no. Yeah, okay. He bases, he buys. That's a good buy as well. It's important. They know that that blue is spawning in, what, like less than a minute? So he then bases. The Krugs are alive, okay? So normally, if he was like doing a full clear standard path, he would do bot into the top, into blue to then hand the blue over or secure the blue for himself. Instead, he goes for an invade, right? Then, after his clear... So because he gets to steal away the blue... He actually gets to hang around the bot side of the map. Now, I'm sure he'd love to hand this over to Showmaker, but he doesn't take the risk because he doesn't know how far away Clit is. So he then goes back to his Raptors. He clears out the Raptors. Okay? Notice how they have full visual control over the river right now. They see everything that Clit is doing, and Canyon is like, yeah, okay, stop that. Get out of my river. So he then paths back down. He realizes the risk of him getting collapsed is real, so he then goes on to his Krugs. So there's actually no reason for him to go towards the top side of the map. He hasn't been super inefficient. He's been able to pick up all these camps, and he starts heading up towards his top side, but then they realize that the risk of a Drake is real. So that's when SKT start that one off. Now, I think the decision-making is, I think Canyon has gone to blue. He hasn't gone to blue, right? So Akali rotates from the top. They see Canyon, and at this point, both top laners are like, they're like slapping hands with each other. I'm like, I need to go to Dragon, and they're like, I need to go to Dragon, and they're just like, no, stop, I need to go to Dragon. Get out of the way. So either way, both top laners are like bickering with each other, right? Showmaker is cutting off the escape from SKT, and meanwhile the engage is sitting there from the front. Both these teams, like, Damwon's looking to sandwich them in, right? They're literally be like, here, come, hug us, hug, and they're just like, and they wish to embrace SKT, right? Now, neither top laner gets involved in the fight. The interesting thing here is that look at how Mata engages onto Canyon. I think it's Canyon anyway, right? So he knocks in Canyon, and he thinks, this is a good target. If we kill the jungler, he can't smite, and with him gone, the Sejuani ult is unavailable. But he immediately throws the Sejuani ultimate out, and look at how much sustain he gets. I think he does an early dragon smite. We should just slow this game down. Why am I going on super speed? Does he smite? Yeah, he smites early to get some health back. That's why he loses the smite fight. But in all of this, Nuclear isn't touched. So Nuclear is just like, la da da di da. Alright, kill number one. And then, of course, Canyon dies because he is still the focus at the end of the day. But then Showmaker gets to join the fray. Meanwhile, both top laners are still like, no! No! And then Showmaker's like, well, I'm Akali, and I get to kill everyone. So this is why the Drake was bad, because SKT, again, didn't have proper setup. This wasn't clean. The risk of a fight was real. And the thing is, if you ever risk a fight, it can go either way. And this early on into the game, if you do not execute that fight flawlessly, just against a Leona Xayah, the ability for them to execute is so much easier. Now, admittedly, Showmaker dies here. So one top laner. Alright. Well, sucks for him. Why does that even happen? Oh, because he goes back through top river rather than through bot. He's like, I'm safe. And then Faker's like, no, you're not. You will die here, because you've got nothing left to escape. So it ends up being what? 3 for 2? 3 for 2, I think. 3 for 2. 3 for 2. La-di-da-di-do. Whoop. Oh, good stopwatch from do 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 do. All right, we're back on the map. Let's have a look at what's going on. Update: the gold is slightly in favor of Damwon. Want to note, still haven't seen a gank bot lane. This is bad for SKT though, because they needed to try and get this Volibear lane ahead. It was really important that they did that. That's why you pick a Volibear, because he's useless in the mid game, and we're gonna see how useless he is. All right, I'm being too critical. I need to wind back. He does have a Karma, which means that his engage will still be fine if he gets this movement speed. And if he goes Righteous Glory as well, it should be fine. I'm just a little worried because I think Damwon have a lot of self-peel. I feel like they outscale on a side lane. And I feel like that Xayah can match the Kai'Sa in terms of the late game damage output. So, let's see how things play out. Even though SKT haven't got their bot lane ahead, it's not the end of the world. I don't have to be such a Debbie Downer. It's fine. So, Why do they get access to this? We don't know, because we don't get to see. Because, like, I'm seeing this Sejuani reset on the map. But I guess because Canyon dies first. Oh, and I suppose because the Karma and the Renekton actually, like, really delayed their base. Because they got that 2v2 kill, right? I say 2v2 kill, 2v1 kill. What is going on with my elbow, man? God, people are going to be looking at this VOD and thinking, oh, that was a weird VOD review. Alright. Back to speedy time. Sejuani's bot lane again. No summoner spells. Let's go, Sejuani. Gank that lane. And Canyon stop, and he's using the Herald. So they've got to make a cross-map play. SKT, you got to set up a dive. Let's go. This is what I like to see. Good stuff, SKT. Commit to the tower, but you're very behind on the plate. There's little you can read it. Ooh, Khan, I like this a lot. That's great. Oh, yes. Yes, SKT. This is good League of Legends. I like this. All right, if you can just survive Khan, that's the best case scenario. Oh, close. Anyway, let's backtrack. So look at this. Look at this. Khan, a lot of top laners would just disengage at this point, but he thinks that with his ultimate, he can actually kill the Herald and keep that alive. So he flashes over, and he kills it. I respect this. I respect this a lot. Then the Damwon bot lane actually overextend, and then the dive can happen from SKT. Meanwhile, Karma is keeping the Akali mid lane, meaning that she can't rotate up towards top to help them kill Khan. Now, if Khan survives here, literally best case scenario, because he can clear out the wave. SKT can hopefully secure that tower bot lane, and then they end up winning. But unfortunately, he ends up dying. Damwon ends up securing the first tower up top. But at the very least, SKT should be able to trade it towards the bot side of the map. So props to SKT. Really like the answer. Damwon with the initial setup, but SKT making an effective cross map, and then they'll be able to get this. Now, the problem for them is they're much later on the play. So let's have a look at, once again, the minimap state here. This is important. Yeah, okay, good. I'm at max quality. So notice how, because these two died, but they're already back out on the map while these guys are resetting. This means that Damwon have something called a tempo. We hate using that word on our broadcast because it's used in many different aspects, so I'm not going to use it in this VOD review. But if you ever hear a pro player talk about it, this is what they mean. They basically mean that you are back out on the map sooner, you get to gain access to things like the river and objectives, you are ahead of the play, you have more time to go on the offensive, right? So you can see Nuguri is pushing up top, but he hasn't reset yet. So right now he's ahead in the play, but Khan, he's going to come back out onto the map, he's going to be able to catch this wave, and then he can move first, because this guy has to go back to base. So the bot lane gets to move first. This is the important thing to note. The question is, what did Damwon look to do with it? Now what they could do is just push out bot and look to move up towards mid. They could generate a numbers advantage, and maybe they could secure some plates. They could also just do the same bot lane, because they know that Teddy and Mato are going to take a while to get there. They can actually just look to get as close to the tower as possible, and try and secure those plates to get some gold in their back pocket. This is one of the issues that SKT ultimately have, because they have to secure the tower in terms of trying to make the gold even. But this is also something that a team like G2 would do differently, in that they actually wouldn't care about the tower, and they would reset first, so that they can match the enemy in terms of resetting on the map. And you'll notice here, Nuclear and Beryl have rotated up to mid, so they get to mid first, which means that they gain access to the wave first. So you can see how Damwon gain all this priority first. And with the Drake spawning, because they're in the mid wave first, because they get that push first, they'll be able to gain access to the river. The problem that they're worried about is that Sylas is actually up towards the top side of the map. So a priority that should be there ends up being lost, because SKT get to control the bottom side jungle. So now we see, once again, another fight around Drake. This seems to be a thing in this series where everything is decided about Drake fights, and it just makes me laugh. Because it's definitely not the same in Europe. Drakes are like a side thing that you get as an advantage, and very rarely do you see like big fights happening as a result of early Drakes. In any case, Damwon, as we said, they got priority over mid, they moved into the river. There is a potential flank ward behind that Khan could TP to, but because he's with the team, he probably won't. So in terms of this 5 versus 5 right now, who do I give the advantage to? Well, let's have a look at some of the itemization. Trillion Force is done for the Camille, not level 11. Level 10, level 11, level 11, level 9, level 10. Level 9, 9, 8, 8. Okay, so levels are relatively even, items are relatively even, but with the Gunblade done on Akali, I feel like Damwon should just have more damage. So, SKT, if they can stop Showmaker from diving onto the backline, then maybe they have a chance of winning. but it's pretty much a matchup between how much damage can Teddy do. I suppose Khan actually has more damage than Teddy at this point in the game. Let's see how things play out. I would give the slight advantage to Damwon. Okay, so Barrel takes the brunt of it. That's not a good ultimate. Neither is that one. Okay, no fight happens. Fair enough. Now they both go back to mid lane, but look at what SKT is losing because the wave was pushed up top. They're losing all this farm and experience. Damwon is doing the same in the bot side of the map, but to a lesser degree because it's like slowly pushing in. They should send someone bot to catch, but they're worried about SKT using 5 people to pressure that wave. But I think they can send Nuguri bot. There we are. He's going to make his way down. Now everyone is resetting back on the map. They need to spend their gold now. So the reason why Damwon could get that Drake was all because, again, SKT were behind in terms of their reset because they spent that little bit of extra time securing that tower. Yep, the fight didn't really do much. Both teams had tanks. Both tanks said, "Nay, we shall not fight on this day." So, thinking about what could happen next. Again, both teams want to set up around mid tower. Remember, if you've tuned in for only this game, you need to go watch game 1 because I'm going to be talking about a lot of what happened from game 1, which is how SKT set up to try and secure the mid tower. They skipped a lot of steps. They managed to secure it, but it's more to do with the fact that Damwon made mistakes rather than because SKT did what they were supposed to do. So we're looking at this game and we're seeing how well can SKT... So look, really good example here, right? They have the ability to move into this part of the jungle and just get a ward here. Get a ward here, just drop one here. Because then you're setting up for a potential flank onto this tower, right? And you're not necessarily making the play right now because, again, you can clearly see the focus is on top side of the map, whereas the cross-map play is happening from Damwon towards the bot. This is fine. This is not a problem with this, but like, okay, so they've got some wards in here. This is good. This is good. We want to see this. Oh, the dive actually happened. Okay. I was too busy looking at the minimap. So SKT are ahead of the play right now. They should secure top tower before Damwon. Yeah. Someone has to now go catch that wave. And they get to... Ooh. Good flash in, but again, Xayah. Ooh, and they get Showmaker's teleport as well. I love this from SKT. Much better game overall in terms of how they're utilizing their early to mid game. But like, this is just good use of the numbers from SKT. So the Renekton has gone base. He has teleport, and notice again, SKT have more time to go on the offensive because they took top tower first. They get to start moving elsewhere first, which means that Damwon will be slower to react to a play that SKT is making, meaning they have time to make a play. So that means that they force Akali to go the long way around. You can see she's all the way in the top lane. The duo of Damwon do secure a tower, but by the time they do, all of SKT are grouped up in mid. Now, I think this is a little over-aggressive from Mata. However, if they just chunk out his ultimate or his flash or anything, then this is great because now he's in a position where he's forced away from the tower. The risk of a dive is very real. This should give access for SKT to approach the tower and secure it, but unfortunately it's just not quite enough. But the whole setup, the whole decision-making process from SKT, love it. Great utilization of the pressure. This is much better than what we saw in the last play. Much, much better. So good job, SKT. So dragon spawning in 40 seconds. Karma's going to push out the top lane, and then he's going to start rotating down. He could actually stay top because he does TP. Depends if he wants to expend it or not. But because Showmaker doesn't have teleport, and they should know that, I actually think it's better for him to stay top. I think so. Nuguri needs to go catch the top wave. Unless they just want to keep him around. But SKT get priority into the river. They get to start the Drake. Okay. I like what Damwon's doing here. Barrel takes a chunk of damage. That's a big deal. They're going to trade Drake for this tower. That's a fine trade. They have to just be careful of SKT collapsing. Ooh, they go for a fight anyway because they know Faker's mid lane. Yeah, I don't agree with that. They should have just disengaged after taking the tower because they need to catch top and bot. They really need to catch top and bot. And the rest of Damwon can't really follow up either. It looks like that their whole... Yeah. It's what I call the Jarvan effect. When a Jarvan EQ ult, like EQ flash ults the enemy backline, and then he dies, and he turns to his team and he's like, "What? Why didn't you guys follow?" And the rest of the team is literally like, Did you engage? Jarvan? I can't hear you. How are we supposed to follow? Are you dead? Jarvan? Anyway. That's what we saw right there. That's what that was, the Jarvan effect. So as you can see, like, Camille gets to fly across the map and she's like, "Whoa, look at me, I'm engaging." And these guys are like, "Okay, I guess you're engaging." So now, because he's dead, they get to trade it for mid tower. So SKT walk away with more advantages because they got Ocean Drake and they got the mid tower. This is a much better game overall from SKT. This was also just a colossal mistake from Damwon. It's been pretty even so far. A lot of trading back and forth. I think SKT still have this weird obsession with Drake. That they want to fight for all of them. So I'm thinking, what can these teams play for next? Because a lot of outer towers down. This is where LS would tell you could freeze. Let's have a look. So Baron is like one of the main objectives next. I'm looking at teleports. It's a little harder for Damwon because they don't have TPs available right now. Nuguri has to stay bot, and Showmaker has to stay top. Which means that they completely give access to mid lane. Really well played there from SKT. That was good. Legit, like, that was good. Pardon me. Yeah, SKT are managing their sideways much better than Damwon are in this game. And Khan's having a much better performance. I know he's 1 and 2, but... What is going on right now? Okay, some weird stuff just happened. So SKT want to go back to mid lane the long way around and push this one out. Oh, okay, so what they actually want to do is push in mid and then rotate down to bot. Yes. So there you go. You see the power of the car plus the volley bear there, but he does have flash as well, so that's technically cheating. So they actually just force an engage 4 versus 4. I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing, but I didn't think that you would get much off the back of it. Good kill there from Khan. What's Beryl doing? Oh, killing himself. How did Damwon lose this game? SKT are playing much better. Like, legitimately much better. My issue with Damwon right now is, like, what we've seen in the last 2 games is it just feels that they're quite slow. I think there's a lot more opportunities that they have and they don't take them. Whereas SKT, game 1 compared to game 2, they're way more proactive. They're managing their sideways much more effectively. They're playing around objectives well. They still have a weird obsession with Drake. But it's fine. Yeah, I don't really know what Beryl's doing here. Like, the thing is, Damwon can't really fight 5v5 because they don't have the most reliable engage. They're way better at skirmishing and, like, split pushing. But I don't think Nuguri is strong enough in a 1v1 yet, as we can see, to win. Now, he should be strong enough now, I think. Maybe he needs stacks. But I feel like he should be a lot stronger now. So notice what the jungler's doing again. I'm really happy that we're seeing Damwon do this. Because they've done it twice now, where they send the jungler into a side lane. It's something that you actually see a lot from Inspired on Rogue in the mid game. Where the jungler just comes into the side laner's lane to look for a kill or a counter gank from jungler. The problem is that it's conceded all pressure topside because Nuguri was pushing bot. Khan knew he didn't have jungle attention because Clid was topside. So they gain access to the river. They lose mid prio. This should give Damwon an opportunity to move back into the river and clear out the vision. But Damwon actually don't have a lot of vision in their pockets anyway, so they need to reset, and in that time SKT can just come back out. And again, look, it's just this ebb and flow back, trading back and forth. I know there's not been a huge amount of kills in this game, but this has been a much better game overall between the two teams, I think. One of Damwon's issues is that I think Canyon didn't do a great job of getting Showmaker on Nuguri ahead. And I also don't think that he leveraged the fact that he had a Leona in the bot lane, so that all-in power was really strong. Like, Canyon just doesn't seem to gank very much. Like, every kill or every play that's happened has pretty much been around Drake. And this is surprising that neither team is actually set up for Drake and just Sejuani is doing it alone. This is very strange. Not what we've seen at all throughout this series. So now they're pushing in mid, playing around bot. Because that's where they have push. Strong side of the map. Infernal swarms in about 4.5 minutes. And then they get to move back up. Really good. This is much better. Now they can look to force Baron. They can actually start it now. Question is, will they? Oh, okay, if they're going for top wave as well, then they need to push another wave mid. Yes, just one more, and then they can start it. Alright, go on there, SKT. Start it. Okay, they're waiting. Okay, no, that's fine. Oh shit. Holy shit. That is what we call an outplay. Holy shit, man. Look at Canyon, this monster. He can't even see Sejuani at this point. Wait, that's because he already has Sejuani ultimate. But he sees Faker and he's just like, hello. What surprises me, though, is... So they ward over the... Oh, fuck. Alright, so the mistake here from SKT is that they don't actually have proper vision set up. They did, and then they conceded this bit, which actually allowed Canyon to walk in, right? But that shouldn't take away from the fact that Canyon just went... Vaboom! And then the Akali comes in. Ugh. Great play from Canyon. But like that one, let's go all the way back. Let's look at the initial setup. So it all starts here, right? So they get priority mid. They move into the jungle. They clear out the control wards. Gone. Look at their inventory. They don't have any more. So what they should actually look to do, I'm sitting here praising them. I thought they did a good job, but they don't have the vision in order to restock. So they should reset. They should reset and they should get more wards. Because what will now happen is Damwon will use that time while the reset is happening in order to clear out the vision that SKT have set up, which means they'll have no vision in their inventory. So SKT can then move into the river once again, and then they can clear everything out, and then they have control. But they conceded control of the enemy jungle once again. And Damwon know that the Baron isn't being started. And they have a very clear path because they know that they can't be seen here. So again, like, the second game in a row where Damwon is just punishing the mistakes of SKT. And it's just SKT. This one is less like, I'm not going to say it's skipping steps. It's just like an oversight, largely. They thought that their Baron setup was good, but the fact that they couldn't see Cannon just walk into that brush is a colossal mistake, because the moment he walks into that brush, he should die. That's what should happen. And it doesn't. Oof. Well, that explains how SKT loses game. Oopsie daisy. Well, the game should be over now because Damwon can set up a 1-3-1. And that Camille has a 2,000 gold lead over the enemy Renekton. SKT can't do anything on side lanes anymore. This Leona has been completely useless, by the way. It fascinates me, though, how comps have been, like, so irrelevant. Like, they really have been. It's all about, like, pressure and, like, wave management. Very rarely have, like, early fights or early plays really dictated anything. It's all about, like, trading resources on the map. Yeah. I mean, like, I understand a little more of why why Korea as a region is slower now from watching this series in depth. It's quite fascinating. I don't know why they've got Nuguri grouped up with them. Go top lane! Go top lane. Go top lane. Or bot lane. That's also fine. But just not mid lane. Alright, can anyone tell me what Nuguri is doing right now? Because I think he's doing nothing. You can't dive. They're too squishy. Oh, he's just hanging around for the Drake, is he? Hey, it's fine. Oh, I mean, Baron's gone. Aha! Please! Why? You have a Kali and Camille. SKT can't fight you on sides anywhere. Just go onto the side lanes. You have two of them. You saw them try to engage into Beryl, and Beryl was just like, I am Leona. I am a sun being. I'm too hot for you. Well, SKT get to stall for longer. Sadface.jpg. Yeah. Why won't my chair go? Oh. Alright, well, I guess we're waiting for Elder. So someone asked, wouldn't Splice play the same way as SKT there? I mean, yes and no. The main difference between Splice... Well, no. Wait. Are you talking about... I mean, I think you're talking about Damwon. And the difference between Splice and Damwon is that Splice wouldn't draft something like a Camille. They would have something like a Gangplank, which makes sense grouping up, because then you have, like, Barons and the Gangplank ultimate to threaten. So, like, it makes sense. You can assist with the siege. But a Camille doesn't do anything. Camille just kind of looks at you, and she kind of does her weird sweepy thing with her legs. But that doesn't achieve anything, does it? Oh! This is a weird fight. This is a super weird fight. Why is the game being decided like this? Okay, let's backtrack. So SKT disengage. They concede pressure mid. That's the first thing. SKT need to catch this wave. So they decide to engage instead when the Renekton isn't there. So he then flashes in. Bear in mind, right? This is 4 versus 5, so it's fine. But, like, this is not a good place for them to fight. Oh, actually, that was really good from Showmaker. Look at this. E into ult. Nice. Really nice. Because he forces Teddy out of the fight immediately. But even then, like... Yeah, no, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But like, the thing is, like, the whole thing about SKT's comp is it relies on Teddy being the main damage dealer. So if Teddy can't do anything, then they lose the fight every time. Khan is really late to the fight as well. But like, this all starts because SKT shouldn't have tried to force this fight. They don't have pressure top. They don't have pressure mids. Damwon can go... So like, the point I'm trying to make is that Damwon can go for this fight without losing too much. Because they have pressure everywhere. Whereas SKT, if they lose this fight, they lose a lot. Now the small saving grace here is Khan. Because his Renekton is like monster mode. Monster is what I meant to say. But it was not a smart fight. I guess in a choke point like that, Damwon's comp works a lot better because there's a lot of walls and a lot of options to allow the duo of Nuguri and Showmaker to threaten the backline. So, fair enough. But again, I think the biggest thing was the fact that it was 4v5. They knew they could force this fight because Renekton wasn't there. Oh, he actually steals the Karma ultimate, so everyone just gets a big shield. That's cool. I don't know if that was the best thing to steal, but I'm not sure what else he's going to steal. Steal Volibear's ultimate, I guess. XD. Lightning! I am Lightning Silas. Anyway. Elder spawning. This Drake is worth fighting for. So, notice again, top lane is pushed in. SKT don't care. They want to make sure they're in a position where they can challenge for it, but they can't get mid push. They do have bot pushing in. Maybe they want to use Khan to flank. Nope. They got a turn. Damwon should turn. Yes. Good. Excellent. You're dead. See? You never go for the 50-50 here. Look at positioning of Showmaker. Really good. And then Canyon, this ultimate again. Really, really good. Yep. I love that they turned there. Oh, maybe I underestimate the team fight power of this Camille and Akali duo. I still feel like they could have done more if they just split pushed with the first Baron that they got, but hey ho. What do I really know? Well, that was a cool game. And it all came off the back of, once again, just like SKT fumbling on their setup. It's really interesting. Oh. So I feel like SKT demonstrated that they're a pretty smart team. I feel like Damwon is a pretty slow team. I feel that there was a lot more that they could be doing in the early game that they don't. I feel like both these LCK junglers didn't gank a lot, which surprised me, because when I think back to Clid at MSI, that man was a ganking monster. He was crazy. So I'm surprised to see him like this. What's going on with my t-shirt? Yeah, it's quite fascinating. I think based off this performance, I think SKT like do a lot of things well, but Damwon just have slightly better awareness, and they punish these very small mistakes that SKT do. Like, they are very small, but they get punished very effectively, and it's this idea that this is also why I'm quite critical of teams like Fnatic, because teams don't punish the mistakes that they do because they're not good enough, but better teams will. And when we look at SKT, we can see that they also make, well, they're very different mistakes from the likes of Fnatic, but there are mistakes that good teams can punish. And regardless of the caliber of their players, like we've seen in both games now where they set up for objectives and sometimes they commit to objectives when it just doesn't make sense. And they force fights when they shouldn't. And so it's like, it feels like it's a bit of a shot calling issue. It feels like that they don't always think things through. Have they gone through all of the steps? And they end up getting punished. And like, that's what I think Damwon showcased beautifully in this series, was how effective they are at punishing these small mistakes, but also the awareness of them too. Because like the biggest thing, and like I really want to draw attention back to it, was it this play? It was this one. Canyon should die. He should die the moment he enters here. He should be dead. The correct play here from SKT is the moment he enters, he dies. And there should be some kind of ward from SKT here, or I mean they have a ward here to spawn him, but it's obviously cleared out. So then they should be either clearing this out, or they should be resetting. But they don't. They just let him walk in. He just walks in. And he's not spotted by anyone. So he then sees Faker. He has Sejuani ultimate. And he's like, well, when everyone's ready, we'll just go. And again, like, this is what I mean, right? Very small mistakes. Very, very small. But the proper play here is Canyon dies. He just face checks into an area of the map that does not belong to him. Like, Beryl should actually be the one face-checking, right? But to a degree, you can argue it's fine for Canyon because he does have flash and he has his W. But if they just burn the summoner spells out and he's forced back and he's low health, then they can then turn to the Baron and then they can force another play. But either way, like, SKT should have all the options here. And they don't have any of them. Because after securing all this enemy vision, they just immediately concede it. They don't fight for it, they don't defend it, they just give it all up. And then they lose the Baron. And the moment they lose the Baron, it's over. Because they get outscaled. There are too many damage threats for this one damage threat to really deal with. I mean, technically, yes, Khan does do a lot of damage, but I don't think he's ever going to win a fight against all of this. So yeah, there you go. SKT not looking undeniably amazing. I think they definitely have faults that can be abused. Damwon also not looking like unbelievable. I think Canyon is not super proactive in the early game. Like you can see he's definitely a good player, and I think Damwon have good players. I think Beryl is great. But if you're an EU fan watching this, I would not be terrified of either of these teams. They're definitely good, for sure, 100%. I wouldn't disrespect them, but they're not unbeatable. So yeah, SKT, I still put them as favorites over Afrika. I don't know much about Sandbox, but going up against Damwon in the third round of the gauntlet, there's a lot that they need to clean up in order to stand a chance. So there we are. Right, thank you very much for watching on the YouTubes. You can check out my other VOD reviews on my channel. Thank you very much for watching. Hope this was entertaining. Please leave your comments, like, and subscribe if you want. You don't have to, though. It really doesn't matter. But yeah, I stream every Monday at 6 p.m. So come, hang with the Twitch chat. You can see, you can ask all these great questions. Today we had Vedius, what brand of headset do you use? And hey, Vedius, that shade of gray on your t-shirt really brings out your eyes. So if you also want to be a part of that enthralling conversation, then come on down. I'll see you on Monday. All right, thank you for watching. Bye bye.